I love telling stories and I love reaching an audience with it. I love being able to transform someone through the film they're watching. Dropping back into just doing it for the love of it and remember why you started is the most important thing.
Perfect.
This guy be breathing on the mic, bro. Welcome back, reality check. You know what it is, man. And we are back with another episode.
You never left.
Today, we are excited to have a very special guest on the podcast, man.
Yes,
And might I add, this man is looking very dapper today.
They're stealing the show, bro. I try to keep up with you guys.
Listen,
Appreciate you.
my brother, David Vandyke is in the building. Rah!
Good to be here, guys.
Sounds like a director name for real.
David Vandyke.
Funny how you would say that.
Oh.
Because I may indulge in directorial endeavors of all sorts.
Actually, Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so they already said it. I'm David Vandyke. I'm a director, filmmaker, and I've been making films, doing my thing for about a decade or more, professionally for the past couple years, but I'm building up into doing it as a career eventually.
Yes.
So I'm excited to talk to these gents because I know they're similarly minded and ambitious dudes, and I'm just pumped to be on the show here today with them.
Man,
So
I've
it's gonna
been
be a good time.
meaning to get this guy on the podcast for so long. For those of you who don't know, this is the guy who does almost all of my music videos. This man, this man right here, all of that.
Make it happen.
Except for one, actually. Every single one except
No,
one.
bro, they're fire.
Appreciate that, man.
They're fire.
He brings some crazy ideas. So he just has the ideas and he's like, David, run with it, do your thing. Shoot
Bro,
it
listen,
the best way.
Which one did he not do?
He didn't do Step Up.
Bro, cause
Step Up was my
I was
brother.
about to say, if you did I Need You, bro, I Need You was tight.
That was him, bro. Listen.
So blessed.
The only two videographers that I've used so far is my two homies, him and Gunny. Shout out to Gunny. The Step Up video was hard too. We filmed like 3 days on that.
Wow.
But I think the most ambitious video I've ever done. I have more ideas too. I'm not gonna lie. The most ambitious one we've done so far was the I Need You shoot.
Yeah.
Because we did three locations.
3 locations and full days.
Full days.
But like with
Facts.
multiple variables. Like we had, actually, it's good we have this here because wasn't
It
convertible
was.
Mustang.
It was a
Look at this
convertible
one.
Mustang, yeah.
And he was in
It was
with the
literally that
model, and then I'm in a back of a minivan with the camera with my legs dangling out, filming them driving down the road. So that was wild. That was crazy.
Literally.
Yeah.
That shoot was crazy because one, there was so much creative input and like I should be on the mic right now. My fault.
Can you hear us?
There was so much creative like things that we did for that shoot because like we did like storyboards and we like thought about like all the different scenes that we wanted to have and then like planned it out first. And then on the days stuff was going wrong or whatever, so we had to like adapt the same way and all that.
Wow.
But even like we had a scene. Actually, technically it was 4 locations because we also shot one here.
We had to stop by on the side of the road towards your place and get a quick shot before the sun went down too.
Oh, you're
So
5. Okay, yeah.
In
No.
2 days.
Yeah.
That's still mad.
But then one of the locations was supposed to be like a house kind of setting. Melanie, who we had on the podcast before, was doing hair and makeup. I literally had to put her as executive producer for that video because she did hair, makeup. She made sure that we had another actress who was supposed to be in there, and then she canceled last minute because she got sick or whatever. So this guy got a new actress last minute.
It worked out. I was at this networking event 2 days before we went to shoot.
Word.
And then there are actors there, there are filmmakers, and I was just talking to a couple, and like 2 of them were really into it. So then I was just like, all right, let's pick the best one for the scene.
Yeah.
And it worked out from there that we just...
I shout out to you guys because creative space is difficult to like, it's a nuance. It's not something it's just like you can teach.
Yeah.
You can't teach, visual or things that like really is going to be like eye-catching to certain like if it's gonna pop to you, it might not pop to somebody else, right? So you gotta like think
It's crazy.
also for not just for yourself, but like for everybody else. And so like that moment, you're like, oh, I'm gonna shoot this dog real quick.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, I find it's so much about being confident. And how much that intertwines with creativity is insane. Because I used to not be nearly as creative as I am today.
Really?
Yeah.
What was like your moment where you're like, okay, I'm actually liking this space, and you start to grow in more confidence for you? Like, what can you pinpoint like moments or a time?
I think it was when I started being trusted in like an actual paid position to do my own creative works.
Word.
So I used to do videos like on a payroll for a few dealerships, car dealerships. So we make commercials and we do like different videos and stuff.
He's like that.
And the GM was just like, hey, I've seen your work. I respect what you do. I want you to see your vision through working for us, and I don't want to control you there. So go and do your thing. And then I think that instilled...
It's a blessing.
It was such a blessing because it instilled... Not just like... It's obviously fun to like when you can just go up the top and be creative.
Yeah.
But it like instilled that confidence in me to say, hey, people see the value of your creative vision, and like that allowed me to like take that in all aspects of my creativity and my journey into all my work, you know, all the things and the way that I approach everything now. Every conversation's about, hey, here's how I think this could go. Here's like what I'm bringing to the table, as opposed to just going, oh yeah, sure, kind of being a doormat in that sense, right?
On the topic that we were just talking about, though, let me ask you this too, because as a director and as you also like write stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
You're a writer as well?
I write, direct, and yeah.
Bro, this guy
This
guy does everything.
But now it's specializing in directing, writing, producing, sort of the three that I gravitate towards.
Okay.
So like I think one of the things that's challenging about making movies now, or like film content or whatever you want to call it, is I feel like not that they were ever dumb, but I feel like viewers aren't like dumb anymore. There's so many cliches. There's so many pitfalls you can fall into that people already know about. There's I think just overall content IQ has risen to the point where it's like you like the punchlines have to be smarter, the twists have to be smarter, everything has to be on a higher level so that people don't get bored. How do you like navigate that when you're...
It's a great question.
Like,
I think it's about being an auteur in your lane, finding your voice and only your voice, and how to tell that. I mean, I grew up sort of like in a different bracket than a lot of these people, like a lot of these directors, producers, where like I just started by making the thing. Right? Sorry, my watch is falling off here. Like I just started by making the thing, and through like learning how to shoot, learning how to edit, like actually going in and being like, well, how did they do this effect in this movie, in this superhero film? How did they make that? I think when you start to understand everything on a deeper level, you start to be able to apply that and create your own voice and your own vision. And as I think you mentioned, as a writer, as someone who's not just directing and producing, but also like writing the material as well, I find the biggest thing is just pulling from your life experience and only what you can tell. Because like my latest short, Alphabet Soup, is very personal for me, and it's about my relationship with my brother and how we didn't get along growing up, and how like we've overcome a lot and to reconcile.
Wow.
And I find that when I can blend that with this other side of the cinematography, I've learned how to edit and how to create like a really compelling story. I think you just draw an audience in regardless of they don't care about cliches, because they're not thinking about this is a cookie cutter movie. They're thinking this is specifically this person's vision that they're giving to the world. This is what I try to include on there.
I feel like there's like everything is being so franchised.
Yeah.
To where like now the biggest voices in the content is coming from the company and not like the person's vision per se.
Right.
What's cool with things like A24, if you know this movie studio, like
A24's movies are
they're crazy, and they're because like they're original, and now you look at the Oscars and you look at Everything Everywhere.
I knew you were gonna
and you look at the awards and you look at just how out of the box the thing is, and you're like, I've never seen seen this before.
Dude, the sausage fingers.
The sausage
Universe?
fingers,
Like, bro,
the rocks that are up in the mountains having a conversation with the Google guys, and it's like it's ridiculous, it's crazy, and honestly, I didn't love it, but like I can see why it wins these awards. I see why people love it because it's so out of the box and new and out of the ordinary. People are tired of the cookie cutter, you know. So that's, I mean, you guys can balance out.
I'll tell you, I was so bored. I was shocked, but also like so inspired by that, because I actually saw, I didn't see the film at the time, but like I saw like the behind the scenes and the, like, I was following their production way before, because they post videos on YouTube, because I follow like those kind of videos on YouTube. Like follow Corridor. Hey, shout out to Corridor. Come on now.
If you're watching.
Hard, bro. I love y'all.
Come on the show.
No, come, bro. Come. Let's chop it up. But I follow all those guys, and then I saw like a couple videos of them, and I was like, yo, they're doing some cool stuff. Like, this looks so, but then it was kind of, to me at least, it looked like it was kind of in the lane of like independent films. I mean, they are, but like independent film slash like almost like a fan made kind of like environment. And then literally a couple months later, I see them show up at the Oscars. I was like, huh? What? Is that the same? What? Wow. And then the lead actress wins out. Oh, bro, what is this? So like, if anything, that was so inspirational to me, because it's like you could win that, bro. Like, you could win that. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
I can see this man light up just
bro,
now.
That's
get inspired.
Bro, that's what it said to me, bro.
Yeah. Well, and these guys came from music videos. They did the Turn Down for What music video. So like,
they did
I don't
that.
know if you've seen that Lil Jon song.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Turn Down for What.
You could already tell going from Turn Down for What and that music video to Everything Everywhere All at Once. This was them. This was their minds. This was what they wanted to do. Right? Because it was like so unique and inspired and creative. And now they have the plaques to show by the trophies to show.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I want to get your opinion on this, because this is something that really irks me about today's film industry. I feel like there's so many movies in particular, maybe the TV industry as well, but I'm talking specifically about movies, where the studio gets in the way of the director's vision, bro.
So much so.
And the writers too, to extent, but like
so much so.
Like, it ruins the movie, bro.
It does. And you see that nowadays with all those big blockbuster franchises, right? Like superhero movies. So cookie cutter nowadays in the plot that the ones that actually test the boundaries are the ones that usually end up actually getting more marketability and more hits, and more people want to see that.
Right.
And that's what I think is cool about what DC is doing. I think DC is doing something interesting where they're not just sticking to one blueprint, and they're sort of making movies more so for the film-minded person or the creative-minded person, as opposed to just let's make it for a mass audience to bring in as much revenue as we can.
See, because here's the thing. This is a very passionate topic for me. Because as y'all can see, the polls are right there. Listen,
you're gonna kill me for that.
No. We were just talking about certain films before this.
Bro. No. But listen,
DC,
y'all seeing the Marvel one right
y'all
there?
gonna get him started.
No. But listen. Y'all see the Marvel one, but y'all don't know. I have a Batman poster over there, so don't. Hey, listen, I like both, but I'm saying, like, on the Marvel side, I'm so mad right now because there was an era where I believe that they were doing exactly what you're saying. Winter Soldier, if you haven't watched that, go watch it, bro. That is probably my favorite film, or I believe one of the most well executed films in the Marvel franchise. And I think that was done in an era where they cared about the plot still, bro. And they were actually trying to push the boundaries, and like they were trying to make a compelling story and cared about the character development, all that.
Well, and the fact that they let two comedy directors make that, right? Like, that's what was crazy, is these guys had came from a comedy background and now directed and it was like one of the most serious movies.
Serious movies,
best action, like the coolest.
It has one of my favorite action scenes. Period. In that,
that's crazy.
That point right there makes me like, I want to bring this point up later on. I was thinking about it, but just that point alone brings up the fact that like a title of, like, in this instance, a comedian doesn't dictate the person.
No.
And like what they're capable of. And I feel like sometimes we can get behind like someone's title or like what they're known as, but then forget that there's a whole human being
Yes.
their own experiences, living life as well. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting that like I didn't know that two comedians made that
Two
one.
comedians co-directed that. Yeah. Well, not stand-up comedians. Not
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
but they did. I don't know.
Comedic content.
The comedic film and
Yeah.
television content. I can't remember the exact.
They did Community.
Community.
I think it was created, but and then they were the ones who like basically had the whole franchise on their back from that point on, because then they did Civil War, which was one of my favorite films after. Then they did Infinity War.
Yeah.
Then they did Endgame.
Endgame, I love. Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
they had the whole joint on their back, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think they've had their ups, they've had their downs, but I mean, superheroes are timeless, and like you can obviously love the.
See, here's the thing though, and the reason why I'm getting mad is in this generation is here. I've heard the sentiment of, oh, people gonna get tired of superhero movies. I heard that sentence like 5 years ago. Like I heard that so long ago. Oh, people gonna get tired. I'm like, they're never gonna get tired. They're never gonna get. I'm never gonna get tired, bro. I'm already tired, bro.
Yeah.
But it's not for the reason that they were saying.
Wasn't it James Gunn that came out and said like the reason people aren't connecting with superhero films is because there's no character to really get into and understand on a deep level. We don't care enough about the characters.
Yeah.
Right? It's just the big action scenes and the villains and taking over the world.
Yeah.
But there's not that character development, and that's what he brought out. So that's sort of why, partly because I love Batman and that's my favorite superhero. I love Batman. But I've also gravitated to DC for that reason and those reasons in general. Yeah.
See, because I'm going on a tangent on Marvel and all that. But like one of my favorite like I'm a DC guy, but like my main thing is Marvel. But the reason I like Marvel so much is because the whole like premise of what Stan Lee created with his characters is that they're supposed to have character flaws that are supposed to make it relatable as humans. They have superpowers, but DC is more like you have these legendary champions that like you're supposed to look up and have hope per se, and like just like, oh, that's so inspiring. Marvel is like, I could be that person. Yeah, I mean,
That's interesting.
But the thing that's annoying me is that like the new movies are not playing into that at all, or like as much as they should. Like they're literally just making it about the franchise, and then they're making random and then you see like cool scenes here and there, but it's really about blowing stuff up, and it's like, bro, like
we've seen that before.
Have character development, bro. Okay, listen. Yo, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh god.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Wait, that was the last one, right?
That was the most recent one.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, just because
made me so angry, bro. Because
after Ragnarok, I was like,
because you have to understand, the character of Thor has actually gone through so much character development. Bro, forget the superhero genre. Just as like a movie context, that character has gone through so much growth. And before that movie came out, the last movie he was in was Endgame, I think. And in that movie, he was one of the most serious but still funny characters, who has like progressed to a state of wisdom, who was like at a stage where he could basically lead a team, because he was like, he's been through so much and had to carry so much and and he's seen his friends die, all that.
Wasn't he super lethargic in that one? Get like a beer belly?
Okay.
I guess they're implying wisdom comes with overweight and letting yourself go. And
then towards the end, he like kind of regained himself and stuff like that. But anyways, his character development was like top tier. Then next movie comes out, completely just let all that go, throw it away. Now he's a clown, bro. I was like, wow.
They don't have the consistency in following a character journey.
And I think they're missing there's a disconnect between what the fans really want to see versus what they're maybe having to deal with, like with whether pressure or like with revenue and whatever that is. But like there's a disconnect, because I remember I was deep in Thor's plot, and I was like, I lost interest, to be honest.
Getting away from the Marvel topics, because I'm going.
We can talk about that.
This man's sweating. I wanted to backtrack a little bit, if you guys didn't mind. Because you mentioned your brother, and like, how old is he?
He's 23.
Is he older or younger than you?
Younger than me.
Younger than you. So I have a younger brother as well. Are you oldest?
Second oldest. I have an older sister.
Middle child.
There's
Okay.
two middle childs. So I have two younger brothers. So I guess there's me and him as the two.
The chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Middle child is enjoying.
Yeah.
Well, so what was that like growing up? So you've turned that your guys' story into your creative, and what was it called? You mentioned the name of it.
Alphabet Soup.
Alphabet Soup.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I heard it correctly. Because I'm sure I knew. I was like, Alphabet Soup. Okay.
It's like, what's Alphabet Soup?
Yeah, I was like, Alphabet Soup, and that's from my brother. We just didn't grow up. So what's the story behind that? And like, why did you choose to turn that into a creative aspect of what you're doing right now?
Well, turn that why. The whys, that's always a big question. The big why. I mean, it was. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
And me and him are much better now than we used to be. Mm-hmm. I think if we were still fighting and if we were still bickering and there was a lot of that tension, then I couldn't make this film.
Wow.
Because I feel like there'd still need to be something there in my story with him. Because it's about, in a sense, it's about my story kind of weave through this. It's not based on a true story, Alphabet Soup. I want to make that clear. It's not based on a true story, but it's I mean, I can give you a synopsis. I can tell you what it's about, but it's
Mark it.
All right. So Alphabet Soup is it's a short film, coming of age drama about two estranged brothers and their terminally sick mother. The older brother gets home from war. He goes to the store to get Alphabet Soup and all the ingredients that his mom used to use to make them soup as kids. And he wants to basically break bread with his younger brother, see his mom, and then they can all share soup one last time before she goes. And so that's what it's about. It's not, like I said, not based on a true story. Like, I didn't even like Alphabet Soup. I told my mom the title and she's like, Alphabet Soup? I never made you guys Alphabet Soup. What are you talking about? What is this? But I think it's playing on some of like the issues they struggle with, like Alphabet Soup in terms of the acronym, like PTSD is the Army soldiers issue with that. the drug prescription. And then drug prescriptions that he's on for his pills that are abbreviated to these.
Bro, I hate this guy, bro.
What?
This guy's too creative for me, bro.
Whoa!
I honestly wasn't expecting that at all.
Whoa! Yeah. Yo, Xay is getting cereal.
All right, well, that was a good time. Water break, so we'll take 5.
I was so shocked by that I had to collect some water.
Bro,
I had to select.
let this man cool down. That's insane.
But so.
Wow. Okay, continue. My bad.
Well, it was just kind of going off of what you mentioned with being original and not falling into cliches, and I just wanted to be as original as possible. So I spent months writing the script. I probably ran it past at least 10 to 15 voices, like at least half of them being like qualified writers, like actual writers. So when I finally got a finished copy, it was sort of the glue that helped keep everything together, because the 3 days we shot were hectic.
You only shot it over 3 days.
We shot, so it was a 15-minute short. I try to do 5 pages per day of my shooting schedule. So we actually had to do an extra day for some pickup shots and inserts. But we did our principal photography over 3 days.
Right.
And it was hectic. But like, people stuck on. I think part of it was the strength of the script itself. And people were passionate to tell the story.
Yeah.
And not just collect a little bit of money at the end of the day. So it was one of those things.
I feel like that's another thing, like the power of like doing it's particularly in the film industry, doing something that you actually believe in.
Right.
Like both as like if you're an actor or like even just the crew. Like because I feel like there's so many ones where it's like the script is not that strong, or like you don't really, but you just need a paycheck, so you're just there. You know what I mean? And then the whole project suffers because of that.
Hallmark movies. It's a pitch.
I know so many people that love Hallmark movie. Like,
That is,
it's actually so funny.
to the grave too.
They'll die on the hill, bro.
Grave.
They'll be like, I can't believe this happened. I'm like, yo, that happened.
Speaking of cookie cutters.
Literally.
I'm like, they literally copied the script of 5 movies. They're like, I can't believe
There's
that.
literally copy paste sections.
Plot twist in 5 minutes.
No, like
Calling out every line. You can like anticipate each line they're gonna say.
I swear. Okay, so we met on the set of a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, that was a funny story.
I'm pretty sure that movie was the one where I tell the story to people. I say, the reason how I know that Hallmark movies are like so cookie cutter is because at the end they're gonna do like their final like scene or whatever, and then so we were all on set but we didn't know what was going on at first when we went outside. Then the AD came outside and was like, okay everybody, it's time for the regular end kiss where everything goes off, and we're like, we know exactly what's going down. Yeah, and then everyone just got into place. Everyone knew exactly what was going on. They didn't put us nowhere. They were just like, it's happening.
It's happening. Do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing, whatever.
And
just make it nice. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, bro.
Yeah, we were just there, like cattle that they heard around for this set.
And you have to understand, like, if you've never been on background or like been on set before, like usually it's a meticulous process that the people will go through to like make sure people are like where they're supposed to be. Even if you're like a background actor, you're not even like a major actor or whatever, they'll be like, you have to be here and you have to be here, and then walk across in 5 seconds and then wait 5 seconds, come back in the next 10 seconds. Like it's that day they were just like, hey, so y'all already know what's going on, just go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi, man.
But hey, man, good times, and that's how we met. That's how did me and this guy.
It was just, that day was hilarious.
It's sick, bro.
So funny.
I
It was so funny.
Oh my god.
Oh my fault.
got you. The chain. Yo, the chain of pain. The chain of pain continues.
The handshake of shame. Yo,
for those listening on audio, you gotta watch it on video. That was crazy.
That's gonna be such a mean moment. Definitely freeze framed. And
yo, I have to watch that back.
you can't win them all.
Crying.
Bro, another thing that on set was pretty funny actually that I didn't know until I had to go through it was like, first of all, people do that full time, yeah?
You're talking about the background?
Background.
Yeah.
The way it works, is sometimes they'll get you to do wardrobe changes if you're doing like more than one scene or more than 2 scenes or whatever. Like sometimes you're changing outfits like 3 or 4 times, or like 2-3 times is like the average, but then sometimes you'll do like 4 or 5 changes or whatever depending on what they're trying to do. I found it so funny how like the more serious people were about the job, meaning like if they were union and if they're like there every day and like that's their thing, these people would be so aggressive to like the crew and like to the wranglers and everyone, talking about, we did 3 changes, not 2. Because you get paid like depending on how many changes. Like if you, I can't remember what exactly the number is, but I think it's like if you do over 2 changes, then you're entitled to a certain amount of money.
I didn't know that. So if you just changed clothes, over 2 times.
If you come in your costume ready and they approve it or whatever, and then you don't have to change anything, and then you change into another costume that they have prepared for you for a different scene, technically you are in 2 costumes, but they only consider that 1 change because you only changed once into the other costume.
The ones they provide for you.
So a lot of people are like, they'll be pressed because like it'll be like, you were in 3 costumes, so they think they're entitled to the 3 costume pay or whatever, but you only changed twice. So they'd be like, I changed 3 times. Give me my money. Like they would, like I'll be in line to leave and go home,
and they're giving the right,
and they're just in front of me. I'm like, yo, we're tired. It's 3 a.m. bro. Let me go home, bro.
I wonder if they just go home and just sleep in the same clothes because they don't change anymore, bro.
I'm not getting paid for this. I'm sleeping.
They go to bed as a merchant that night, bro.
That's the method acting right there.
Oh gosh, I can't. That's wild. So like the regulars are just hostile with it.
Yeah, bro. Like I feel like the more casual you are, is the more chill you're about.
Because you're just happy to be there.
You're happy to be like. I mean, when I was there, I was like, that was my first time. No, that was like when I first started doing it again, that was like my second time being around set. But I love like the film and shit.
So that was your second time actually being on set that day.
Well, not that day, but like before I was working with that company.
Okay.
I did one other I did this basketball movie, this Kevin Durant
No way. Oh, it's
like documentary or something
nice.
in high school, and then after that I started working with the company, and then I was there more regularly. But I was happy to be there. I was like, oh, I can see behind the camera, like all this stuff, like all this stuff that's going on.
Yeah,
I get paid to do my homework, like, you know what I mean, like whatever, because you're waiting half the time. Yeah. But then all the people who are there, like, that's their job, and they're there. They don't even like bring. They're like there with their crossword, or like there with their books or whatever, and they're just like this the whole time, and then when they hear their name they get up so promptly as like their badge of honor and all that, and then they get up, oh, I'm entitled to this food and this wardrobe pay and rah rah rah, and they're just very it's very interesting.
It is fascinating.
But your aspirations, I'm assuming, is to do some feature films. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I would assume. Yes, sir. It was always in the back of my mind. But it was funny because I went into my 20s like, I'll make shorts, and when I'm 30, that's when I'll transition into feature films, right?
Okay.
Now, and this is partially because I like this social pressure around me, but I have people going like, now's the time, make a film, do your thing. So at this point I'm transitioning from Alphabet Soup into my first feature film.
I did not know it was that quick.
Bro.
Wow. Bro, if you need music, hit me up, please, bro. Listen,
absolutely.
Listen, bro.
Dude, I'm an actor.
I got you.
Bro, I'll hop on the soundtrack.
I got you guys.
Bro, listen, because I was gonna say this man has such a creative mind, and like such a specific set of skills. Liam Neeson. That he be doing.
But I feel like that's how we all connect. I mean, I just met you today, but even from what I've seen, you being a friend of Xay's, like we all think in that sort of way.
Yeah.
But especially, I was thinking about you the other day, and I was just like, I was going like, man, this guy's so cool. This guy is like, as far as all my friends go, you are probably the most multi-talented person.
No, I agree.
You that's the most multi, like just having
that's
like
so true.
Special talents. I don't just mean being good. I mean being like really good.
Yeah.
In so many facets. I haven't seen that in anyone else. So
that's actually true.
Like facts, 100%.
Bro, and the thing is too, you keep it low key because I remember we were talking.
That's a crazy comp.
Yes. I agree with that. Sure, I agree with that. And Xay's one of those people that like is not like up in your face about it either. Like I remember finding out that man was on set for a particular show at Riverdale, and I was like, what? And he just said it like it was nothing. Like I was just like, and I've known Xay since I was like, bro, we were kids, right? And it's not like I've never. I'm just finding out pieces of like what he does and where he does it, and like he's
bro. Hey man,
hey bro. Listen, produces, edits, bro. Even like
I'm always blown.
Listen, I just tell people like my main goal. I don't even need the spotlight like that for real. Like I literally main goal.
I see that all like.
Bro, like what I literally.
That's probably why. Go on. I was just saying that's probably why, because like you're not doing it for any ulterior motive. You're doing it for the love of it, and you focus in whenever.
Bro, like literally, I prayed this prayer, bro. Like I'm like literally like all I need is to be able to make a decent living off of either making music or creating something, and that's it, bro. And that's all. Like if I could be like Kendrick, I tell people this. If I could be
Frank Ocean type thing,
bro. Like if I could be like Kendrick.
Sorry, if we can like piggyback on that. I mean, that's kind of interesting because I feel like your rap is so established. Where you yourself as like a rapper, I don't know what you introduce yourself as to people if they're like, what do you do? But that's a big part. Yeah. I guess like is that your main drive, or are you testing out all these different waters, music and rap and hip hop and producing and rapping obviously, but like is that your main thing, or are you doing that in conjunction with all these other things until you find that like specific niche?
That's the question of the day, isn't it?
I'm curious.
That is the question of the day, because
is a very good question.
See, here's the thing, I get flack for this all the time because people say I need to choose one. And I haven't. As of how I'm operating right now, like right currently, is music is number one, but then I'm because I'm freelancing currently with like the other stuff that I do, so like graphic design, product design, video editing, whatever it is, like I'll do all of that, but then I'm using the money from that to reinvest in music. So it's like I'm technically doing all of it at once, but then I'm doing all of it for a reason, so that I can, you know what I mean? So right now it is the music. The most frustrating thing for me right now on the music front is just marketing, bro. Because I suck at marketing. I'm trash. Like I need a manager.
Talk about humility.
No. Like I suck.
I need some grace too.
No, I suck. Like I need, bro. If y'all watching and you're a manager or you have a manager, bro,
come into the pod.
Bro, I need a manager, bro, because marketing is just, like, and it's not even that, but it's like. I don't know, man. Like some people like that are like my friend Daniel is like
Goofus. Shout out
Daniel Goofies is like my unofficial he's like my unofficial manager, and he always be telling me like I need to go outside and like do these public interviews or whatever, and like rah and ask people, do you know this song, and then play my song in front of people and then get them to react and post all that stuff. And I'm like, I get it and I see it, but like it's so much.
It's like a lot.
I feel that.
So like, because the thing with me too is like the other thing that kind of informs my personality a bit, I think, is, and I guess like the humility thing that you were talking about. I don't even like to call myself humble because I feel like that defeats the purpose. But like,
you're so humble you won't even use the term humble.
Yeah, no,
it's
too loaded.
Yo.
Well, like I feel like because I'm not an artist that like is making music to get people hype. Or like I'm trying to make a club banger, or like I'm trying to, or like most of my music
you are
is
making it for that reason.
No, like my music is for like substance. Like most of my music is substance, and I'm trying to get across a message and all that stuff. And like I'm trying to, or like the 90% of my music stems from like something I went through, and then I have to get it on my chest, and then I put it in the music, and somebody relates to it, and then it's good, right?
Yeah.
If I was
touching on with your filming,
exactly
real,
kind
raw,
of
reality, right?
Reality check.
Let's go.
But because that's how I approach music, I feel like it's like that adds to how I like don't need the spotlight in a sense. You know what I mean? Because I'm not making music for people to I mean, I make the bangers too, you know what I mean? Because I like the bangers.
Yo, Legacy.
Hey.
New release, bro.
Apple Music.
Put that on your gym playlist,
bro. Gym playlist all day, repeat, bro. Bro, listen. If you need some PRs in the gym and you haven't been able to hit it, just listen to the tracks and you'll just get it, bro.
Actual pump.
On that, just before you even continue, like the fact that you can make bangers and actually like deliver,
that's crazy.
Like the versatility of this artist is mad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So shout out to Because I'm running, I'm like, this is
running playlist. It's for everyone, really. There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
But I feel like even in film, I feel like depending on what your intentions are with the content you create, it's like your need for the spotlight will shift depending on why you're making the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like I feel like as a director, even like directors can fall into I didn't get an Oscar my recognition or whatever for whatever it is that I did, or like as a musician I didn't get my Grammy, you know what I mean? But it's because you're making it to receive that, and
it's like that tracks with wherever you are in your journey, because obviously I'm very much still just kind of breaking through and at that ground level state where I know there's like miles to go if we're talking like climbing a mountain, right? But I feel like everyone's got that voice in their head that's gonna go, am I doing enough? Am I good enough? And that's no matter where you are at. But I think it's only because you have that drives you to want to go further and to get to those points, right? I think the most successful people are the most self-critical. And it's sad because it's like, can you just like stop and smell the roses for a bit? Like, can you just enjoy your wins, right? But in a sense, it's tough to sometimes. So like what you said, dropping back into just doing it for the love of it and remember why you started is the most important thing. I was just thinking about it in the car ride in, actually. So it's funny that,
What's your why for you?
I love telling stories and I love reaching an audience with it. I love being able to transform someone through the film they're watching. And for them to just like, I'm going to kick back, I'm going to put on this thing, whether it's 5 minutes or 2 hours, I'm going to fall into this world they've created and be brought with the journey of the characters and see what they're seeing and feel what they're feeling. I think it's just such a cool art form. It's so cool to be able to do that, you know.
I feel like that's so great. Like even like what was his name, George Lucas. Imagine making a world that like millions of people.
Dude, imagine what he feels like. Just the gratitude or the
like people Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, but like it's not even like people like the film, and it's like a lot of people like the film. It's literally like people's personalities are being changed by these movies.
Yeah.
Like people are modeling their character off of characters in the movies, bro.
Different. Because this is the first time that I've like really ever sat with a director in my life like this. Like, so like from your lens and perspective and hearing you even just describe what your why is like eye-opening to me personally. So I appreciate you for that.
Yeah, man.
Because seeing it from that lens, bro, it's insane to see your characters that you've like thought about and like put time in writing, especially because you're a writing director as well. Right. Like that's insane. Yeah. That's like the dream.
Bro,
such a dream. And it's and like it's such a dream to be able to do it at any level too. You know, it's like you have people that just will use their cell phone and you can edit and make a whole thing on your cell phone now. And it's like it's so accessible to anyone. So it's cool, like the world we live in that sense. But yeah, it's a blessing just to be able to make stuff and have people in that journey.
Now, as you said, we have a director on the pod, and I feel, for me personally, I don't know if y'all care, but like for me personally, I feel like it would be a disservice if I didn't ask some like very intricate questions, because I feel like a lot of people have these kind of guests and they just ask, oh, why do you do it? Now I want to know the specifics, bro. So like, shoot, we were talking this kind of off podcast too, but like when you watch a movie, for example, do you wear different hats when you watch the movies? Because I've heard a lot of people be like, like because of like I'm a director or a writer or whatever, like the first time I watch is for enjoyment, the second time I watch for lighting or whatever, like.
So you've asked this question before and you got different responses?
Well, no, I just seen videos of people answering.
Right, yeah. Oh, well, to that I would say, I mean, if it's okay, context dependent, but if I'm seeing a movie at Cineplex or I'm dying to see this movie, like excited about, I'm watching it just to enjoy it and enjoy the film, be brought into the story, characters and all that.
Nice to me.
But if it's a movie I've seen before and I'm watching it back, I'm looking at it from a lot of different angles. Right. And even, actually it's funny you say that, because even if it's a bad movie that's just like not critically well acclaimed, it's just like a really poorly rated film, I'll be doing that like 10 times more, because I'm like going,
because it's more obvious.
Because it's more obvious, and you, exactly. All those things stand out. Good editing is invisible editing.
Wow, that's so fast, bro. Yeah, that is so fast.
Even same with cinematography and acting and everything. And because once you get brought out of the story, once you notice something technical, the film isn't doing its job. So the best films are just perfectly aligned to keep an audience in that mode. In that moment, that whole time. It's attention.
Now that you say that, that's so because I've watched like clips or like movies or TV shows, especially, I think, where it's like if it's not done particularly well,
y'all not listening,
then the if it's not done particularly well, it'll like the cuts will be like egregious and you'll see exactly what they're trying to do, and I'll be like, oh, they were trying to do that and it didn't work. But like I see it was though.
Bad. Well, it was hilarious because I watched this masterclass video, not a masterclass, it was a breakdown video about the editing of Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen movie. And
I watched that in theaters actually.
I wanted to see it but I missed it.
It's intense.
Yeah. The funny thing about this video is that the film won for best editing at the Oscars, right?
Okay.
And this video was basically a whole deconstruction of the film and how bad the editing actually was. Wow. But the maker of the video went, well, the judges would have saw that and it would have stood out to them, and that's why they would have chosen it as the winner of best editing.
Because they noticed the editing.
As opposed to just invisible editing that's perfectly aligned so that you just fall into that story. Right. And then
wow,
it was
y'all not hearing, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It was really interesting. And then even playing back a scene and going, hey, there was like literally a cut every second, or like the average length of a shot was 1.5 seconds of time. And I guess because it's so like quick in your face, punchy, it keeps the audience there because we're so like TikTok and everything made us short attention spans. But it's like, that's not good editing. That's jump cutty, in your face editing that's only there to go, here's something new for you to look at for a second, right? Before we that was fascinating to me.
If you did you're about to do a feature film, but like
getting there. I don't know, about to start developing further a feature.
Well, let's just project.
Sure. Going back down some years.
Let's say
oh my bad.
Let's say you've made
Call me Mr. Hulk.
Let's say you made 3 films. Let's say you made 3 films that have been in theaters. You're an established director in the industry. How involved would you want to be in the entire process from from shooting to editing? Because
how involved? Oh, fascinating.
Because I know different directors like be in the editing room the whole time. Like they're basically the editor at that point.
Bro, it's crazy because like that is me for sure. I'm very hands-on in my approach, and it's like if I can have a say in it, I want to have a say in it. So I would be, in fact, if I had the choice, I'd probably edit my feature films to like every time, maybe not, but like if I can, I want to be able to still have that ability.
I hate this guy. He's so creative, dude. Because I feel that in my soul because I am an editor, at heart. Because I do some film stuff, but like he's the film guy. You know what I mean? I mostly do editing, but like I feel like even backtrack when we're talking about editing. Right. I feel like editing sometimes can be so like you have to almost be humble to be an editor because sometimes it's like, as you said, good editing is invisible editing, right? Yeah. So it's like if you have a certain performance that you want to highlight, sometimes doing a certain edit will highlight it, but sometimes not editing will highlight it. Because you're just like where people expect to cut, you just don't cut and you just leave it. And then it's drawn into the performance because you like nothing else is going on except their face or whatever.
Let it play out.
Right?
Let it have its due.
But then if you do that, then you don't get your glory because you didn't do anything as an editor. You know what I mean? But it's like, I mean, like every decision is a decision. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's I feel
such a great point.
I feel it's so interesting.
Yeah. Every decision is a decision.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something I learned very early on. It's like, even in like what you be doing, that I've personally seen this where it's like, you will, as a regular person who just tries to jump into like the creative industry, for example, there's a lot of urges for you to just like film everything and like let's include this. I've seen him so many times like this is very tough for me to do, which is not be tied to an idea, because sometimes what he'll do is like he'll have an idea, and for me, if I have an idea like this, it will be very hard for me to let it go because I'm like, we could find somewhere to include it or whatever. But he'll be like, it doesn't work, and then he just forgets about it and does the next thing. And I'm like, damn, that was fast. And then he already has a new idea. And I'm like, damn. Wow. So he does that really well, and I think that is a very like that's every decision is a decision. Like whether it's like, and I've seen directors do this too, where it's like where again, this is hard for me to like, where it's like if you spend and it gets bigger the bigger the budget for the film is, because as you go higher in the ranks or whatever at working with Marvel, let's say, they'll spend thousands of dollars to shoot like a bunch of scenes with a cameo from a person or whatever, and then it gets to the cutting room and they'll take it out
and just
and then nobody sees it. But then sometimes it's like actresses were cast and people were cast to be on the thing, and then sometimes it's like that particular actress was only in those scenes and they get rid of it, and then that person's not even in the movie. You know what I mean? And they spend thousands of dollars for these things, so it's like, it's just so crazy to me, you know what I mean? And those were like purposeful decisions.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so it's in that aspect. I feel like that's very difficult for me because like there's things that like if I had the final say and I was like the organization or whatever, and I spent money to get the people in it, I'll be like, we're having it in the
executive producer Xay, get him on it.
Yeah, bro. I'll be like, we're having this in the find somewhere to put it. Find somewhere to put it. Bro.
We spent money on this, so you better put it in the movie.
And in a lot of ways, is that why you edit your own videos? Because you'd want to have that final say and that vision that you've kind of created.
I feel. I mean, the two biggest one is because I actually just like editing.
Yeah.
And I like the feeling of. I feel like editing is a very interesting art form in terms of like how you can bring things to life.
Yeah.
Because like you can shoot anything you want, but then the way you put it together creates a completely different thing depending on how you put it together.
Yeah.
So that is what I like. But then the second thing that I think is less important, but I think it is relevant, which is like, because usually in the context of like my music, for example, if I'm shooting a music video, I'm in the song part, I'm doing everything. So I'm writing, I did the beat, I wrote to it, then I mixed it, I mastered it, so I did the whole vision of the song. Then I get an idea for how the music is gonna go, so I get this guy to record the video. But then if I give that to somebody else to then bring to life, then like the vision won't stay consistent.
Right.
So like if I can edit it too, then like my entire vision from start to finish will like fit with what I'm trying to get across.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a double-edged sword because it's like, I think I'm finally at the level now where I can do it. But like before, for example, like if I wasn't good enough to actually get across what was in my mind, then it would be like tough because it's like I have a vision, but I can't, like, I'm not good enough to execute it.
Scaling and challenge.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's a time when I would have to give it to somebody else that can do it, and I have to do my best to explain what it is I'm trying to get across or whatever. But like now I think I'm at that level where it's like I've done a few things where it's like I have something in my head and the thing that I make is exactly what was in my head, and I'm like, damn, I actually pulled that off. I can just.
I have a question on that now, because what would you say to somebody that is not as like technically or as like experienced in editing? They have a vision. And what's your experience with like Fiverr or using like external editing, either platforms or individuals that are more experienced in that sense?
I mean, I've actually used Fiverr a couple times.
Oh yeah?
But not for anything major. If it's major, I either go to someone I know personally or I'll just do it myself.
Fair enough.
But I mean, sorry, your first question there was
if like someone,
if
someone is like, say for example, someone's watching and they're like, they want to be in this space more. And maybe they just want to see like a finished product for like their, certain amount of projects or whatever it is. Would you recommend Fiverr since you have experience there?
Yeah, I think if you're starting out, then absolutely. Or if there's something like very, very specific you're going for. Like for instance, I made a short film called Brink, which this guy actually came to check out the screening.
That was blessed.
That was great. That was cool. So like we screened that back in October, and I had a moment where I needed like a 911 operator on the phone.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, I could get someone I know, or I could just get someone on Fiverr to do it who does like voiceover work. So that was a time I was able to go to them and be like, hey, can you record like a 30-second piece? And I think it cost me like no more than $20.
What is the depth of Fiverr? Because I know I've heard so much about.
It's pretty deep.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep.
Everything you could imagine, like website developers, like graphic design, logos, film, music.
It's pretty deep. The only thing I would say, I haven't used it, but I've watched countless videos on people using it on YouTube and such. The only thing I would say is like, sometimes you like the most time you'll spend is sifting through the people who are actually good versus like the sketchy ones. Because there's people, I mean, some people are honest and they'll like not charge much because they're not that good or whatever, but some people are charging $200 and the output is trash.
Right. I have seen those videos where it's like Fiverr compared to like I guess a professional thing, and they're comparing, and it's like
you got to look at reviews so much because it's not like with like real life. I find it's more you get what you pay for. Right. If I'm going to someone who's established on Fiverr, you really can't be like, I'm gonna pay this and I know I'm getting this quality back. It varies to such a degree.
Because they're setting their own price.
They're setting their own price. They're valuing something at their own pace that you have no idea where they've come from or what they've done. I think you set up like a portfolio though of like past projects, and people obviously review you and you set your prices, but it's like, I don't know, maybe they're having an off day and want to really deliver something. So you just don't know.
So there is a risk there. So I guess the real question is, are you willing, for anyone that's like wanting to go down that route, are you willing to risk someone else taking, that vision, or I guess you could kind of like share your vision with them, but like turning that into, breathing life into that and taking that risk with someone else versus like you doing that yourself. I guess what it comes down to.
See, because here's the thing, for me personally, the only time that I would allow somebody else to edit is if I could be in like the proximity to that person, to where it's like we're going back and forth, and like they're sharing their ideas, I'm sharing my ideas, we're going back and forth. If we're not doing that, I'm not doing it, bro.
I'm not
fair.
Bro, I feel like you're getting cut off from the screen a bit. Move over. Yeah, just slightly. Slightly there. Yeah. There we go.
The director came out.
There we go. Yeah. It's like, all right, I need you 3 inches.
Appreciate you.
I got you. Yeah.
But we're getting kind of close to the end though. But you know what I mean? I wanted to ask some light ending questions.
Yeah.
One. Yeah. Where do you want to be in the next 2 years? Let's say. Or let's say two years and then 5 years. Because I feel like 2 years is more. Nobody asked that question. 2 years.
Yeah.
It's closer.
I prefer to speak in will instead of want. I'm going to phrase it like will. I will be going into production on my first feature.
Bro,
in 2 years.
The verbiage is mad.
And in 5 years, I will be seeing it through onto a streaming service. Or theater run.
Netflix, you heard him.
No.
Amazon.
Cineplex. All those. Come on, guys, hit me up. We can work together.
I'm just so happy to be surrounded by like-minded people.
That's so tough.
But yeah, man, that answers it.
That's so tough. Yeah. That's so tough.
How about you, bro? And then obviously Vaughn and Swat. Yeah.
You go ahead.
See, that's crazy to follow up,
bro. Oh, there's a will, bro. Will.
I will say, this is hard to start though. I know the 5 year one, but two year one is hard. That's why I asked it, because it's a hard question.
Wait, start with your 5 and then. What's your 5 year?
The 5 is, in 5 years I'll be going on world tours. I'll be going on world tours in 5 years. I'll be there.
You heard it here first.
I'll be there. In 2 years,
Xay Dryz.
In 2 years, I definitely see like some of my music getting placed in film and TV. That's kind of what I'm aiming for right now.
Yep.
Hopefully sooner than later, but like that's kind of my goal.
I'm seeing it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see that I see that happening very quickly.
Even sooner.
Yeah.
Like within 1 year for film and TV.
You know what I mean?
And who knows,
January 1st, this man was already on interviews with radio stations.
Bro.
This year.
The first day of the year was crazy. Literally. Bro, I literally came in the year, I was like, this year I'm going to grind. First day of the year, interview, songs get on the radio. I was like, nah.
Great start to the year, man. That's exciting.
Vaughn Taylor.
What it do?
Let me hear it.
5 years, Olympics. Olympics. 5 years, Olympics.
He lost his hat. His hat disappeared. It was so groundbreaking.
And 2 years, woo! Stability. Stability of spirit, mind, financial, like social space, body, just routine, just stability in that sense, just and that's so that I can get to that 5 year where it's like Olympics. Olympics is next year, so that's like my first real crack at breaking down that barrier even faster than the 5 years. So I will
Yes, sir.
Will be. She.
Whoa! Those two downloads were insane.
Yo!
Those two downloads were Bro, that's the best end we've ever done, bro.
Cotton 320.
That's the confirmation. That's right
Yeah,
there.
man, that's awesome. Man. I'll be following your journey. I'll be checking you out.
Dude,
for sure.
I'll be gotta get your socials and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Throw up on. They're gonna be thrown up on a screen in the description as well. If you're on the audio, they're gonna be there. But also, if you're on the audio, make sure that you pop over to the YouTube to check out the visuals, because there are certain things in there that y'all not gonna understand. You know what I mean? So, pop
It's like
over
why
and
we
see
suddenly
it.
have water now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that, you know what I mean? And I mean, it was a pleasure, bro.
Yeah, man, it was a pleasure to be on here. I first saw it, and then I started listening right away, honestly. Damn. And there's just so much in this for self-help, and really how to lead a better life. And I think what you guys do is really valuable. So
Appreciate
you.
Appreciate you saying
Bro, I mean, low-key, we might have to do a part 2, I'm not gonna lie. Because I had more questions, bro.
I have more questions. I genuinely want to like learn more about you.
Yes.
And like behind what you do, because like what you're saying and what you're doing and what you like presented today, I don't even want to use the word presented, like who you are. And today showing up is just like, as professional, I just want to like see what kind of person drives that, you know, even more. So I'm excited to just dive into part 2 for y'all. But
I'd love to come back. I feel like we definitely have more to talk about. So I'm excited to learn more about your journey and all that you do. So it's super awesome.
Alright, man.
put a like on the video, man. You know what's good.
Put the bell on, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you get all the updates and that. Make sure you pop over to the Reality Check TV Instagram account,
because we up on live.
You know what I mean?
Do it
Make
now,
sure.
or I will direct you to do it.
Hey. And also make sure either you go to the Instagram or you hop in these comments right now to tell us what topics you want us to talk about, because I don't see y'all in there, and I know y'all have topics that you want us to talk about, but you're not telling us, man.
Yes.
We're not psychics, we're not wizards. Tell us, man. Alright, man. Xay Dryz over here.
VT out.
We out.
See you, everyone.
Peace.